Okay, we have now a round table on the topics dealing with buying methods. I would like to call on stage Francesco Passone, Country Manager Italy Klarna, and Federica Ronchi, Country Manager Italy ClearPay. Well, these are the two market leaders also to talk about this topic. Welcome. Thank you. So we have a couple of videos. So, just to clarify, we are talking about the market leaders of a fast-growing sector, buy now, pay later, also with a view to further developing e-commerce. And so these are some facilitations for consumers. And these are boosters for buying. Well, I would like to start by asking each of you, let's start with Klarna, something about the history of your company and how this payment system was born. Thank you. So, Klarna is a community of 90 million users worldwide. Smooth shopping. Smooth shopping is the common point, so services and products that also allow for a fast, sure shopping experience. Smooth with a 3-O. And it is a brand, as you saw in the video, which is very, very appealing for new generations, millennials and Gen Z. The company was born in 2005 in Venice with a very trivial, simple and easy concept, digitalizing an experience that was already done by consumers, paying in 14 days. This was unpacked and it was turned into an online experience. 16 years later, so we work with more than 750,000 shops. And we also offer very different services for our consumers, starting from October. We have more than 600 shops in Italy where you can find our services. So we started in October in Italy. And at ClearPay, you have a different history, right? This is the brand that is used by Afterpay in UK and in continental Europe. It was born in Australia in 2014. Today, Afterpay is the payment solution for buy now, pay later, but also for e-commerce, so the most widely used one in Australia with 20% of transactions. Well, very fast in 2018, we opened up in the US. Today, the Afterpay option buy now, pay later has 70% of market share. This is the biggest country for us and the one where we have the highest volumes in terms of e-commerce. In 2019, we opened in the UK, and in 2021 in continental Europe, Italy, France, and Spain. And the roadmap in terms of opening of new countries and markets is very, very ambitious. We wanted to cover the main countries in continental Europe, and we also work for the Asian market. Our goal is to support merchants, so brands and the retailers in the fashion world and also in the beauty sector, where ClearPay is focused, in the territories, in the areas that want to manage. The solution
per l'utente finale
also allows the final consumer to pay in 4 installments. The first installment upon buying, and also the other installments postponed over time without cost, so interest-free for the end user. But our partner, so our brand, our retailer, receives from us the entire amount of the order within 24 hours after the confirmation of the order. And in this case, the retailer is completely protected against any risk of default or fraud, for example, between the ClearPay and the final user. So the final user has no surcharge, no extra. He pays 100, he has a financial advantage to to have it in 3 months, so 3 installments or 4 installments. And your markup is linked to a fee that is paid by the merchant. So 100 minus another amount. Well, what is the context and why do we have this specific target and Gen Z, Francesco? I think there is a specific underlying need for that. Yes. We have 90 million users and consumers. I told you before, well, 70% are millennials and Gen Z, well, and it varies from country to country, but this is the scenario. We are talking about generations who have this need for a new form to access credit. It's kind of a credit card. I can pay like a yearly fee, 20, 30 euros, and I have like 2,000, 3,000 plafond per month. In the US, 70% of people prefer going to the dentist rather than going into a bank or to a bank. So, and this is something that says a lot. In Italy, we have 90 million plastic articles and cards in Italy, but only 15% are credit cards. Then we have a prepaid card, and then we have debit card. So what does it mean? It means that in new generations, we have a new form to access credit, the opportunity to buy online 3 different installments, interest-free. And this is something which gives and grants consumers a lot of flexibility without asking for further fees or surcharge, sorry. And this is something that is also done in the US. So, and yeah, where do you take the money? On the card. Yeah, it can be a prepaid card. This is a debt card. It's not a credit card. What is the impact of that on the merchant? So on sales in general, the fact that consumers can also postpone installments. What kind of impact does it have? I mean, in terms of receipts, in terms of timings, etc. So the advantages for our partners are multiple ones, and they are due both to the features of buy now, pay later, and to the peculiarities of the relationship with the brand. As far as the distinguishing features of buy now, pay later are concerned, we have a final user who can buy on a product by paying 25% of the product. This is the first installment, so the conversion rate is much higher. This brings about a very significant increase in terms of conversion, visit, and the consumer. And this also has an impact on the increase of an average ticket. He can pay only one of the four installments upon buying, and so he is proner to spend more money. He can buy high quality products and use them and take them in his shopping. And people paying with ClearPay also tripled the number of products that are bought. And in terms of the increase of the average ticket, we have an increase of 30–40%. It is important also to understand that the split payment is not a credit for consumption. These are two different topics, and they are perceived in a very different way also by the final user. We do split payment. The final user doesn't have to pay any interest, so it's completely interest-free, and the average tickets we finance are not high. Just to give you a figure, the ticket of ClearPay is 118 euros. So we do have users who split this into four installments, 118 euros in four installments. And same applies to us, since we work a lot with millennials and Gen Z. So in front of us, we have users who consider this kind of convenience in terms of payment netted value, in terms of using credit cards and accessing credit options. As far as figures of ClearPay are concerned, we see that they use it 10 up to 12 times in a year. That is to say, they repeat purchases every single month. And in a single partner, the repetitiveness is 2.7%. 2% times. If we think about the average frequency of our commerce, which amounts to 2, ClearPay increases by 30% this frequency. Well, I wanted to ask Francesco if the figures, your figures, are more or less the same. I mean, data, etc. Yes, of course. And this was what Federica was going to say also. In order to get to these results, we also have to talk about that with the shop owners. So this is not just about adding a logo on a web page. It is also a pre-buying experience, on-buying experience and after-buying experience. So analytics and all the studies that must be carried out in order to gain new customers and leads. One of the acquisitions we did this week is an English company, Eero is the name, live streaming platform for shopping sessions. So consumers can take a look at clothes, for example, and then they can also complete the order by clicking button, and that's it. This is a service system for consumers. Yes, the payment is the vehicle, but around that we also have entire facility, and the merchant can have the one solution but also the other ones. So me as a user, in my capacity as a user, I don't have any exclusive rights. I mean, there is no exclusive rights. No, we were talking about that with Federica last time. Well, in more mature markets such as Australia, and she was making reference to it. There are a lot of shops using it. In Italy, it's something new. We will see what will happen. But there are some brands in which you have both options. I mean, you don't ask for exclusive rights or something like that, or the brand. The objective, the goal is maximizing for the consumer the payment options, right? Yes, please allow me to add that with this new payment solution, there is a betting, there's a bet which is much bigger than just offering something more to the final user that can reward the numbers of merchants. The bet, so we intended to bring to our retailers and merchants a new users, and this is the big added value of this clear pay option. 75% of our customer base is made up of millennials and Gen Z. So we wanted to bring new users to our merchants. This is free of charge for the merchant. And this is highly qualified since it is ready to carry out the purchase. So it's much hotter in a way in the customer journey. So the user is in the shopping directory, on our social media, on our website, through our DEM and CRM activities. So they can see what are or which are the brands that can offer the clear pay option, so that can use this payment solution on this merchant. Clear pay intends to be a crossroad between supply and demand. Just to give you a figure, every month 35 million users, that is to say more than half of the Italian population, get onto our shopping directory and land in our merchants' websites. There are some important projects of collaboration with some of the merchants. We can account for 65 or 70% of the referral traffic of our merchants. So we change these figures for merchants, not just in terms of average ticket frequency and merchant, but also in terms of dimension and volume of traffic that we can bring about to our merchants. We were talking about that before, right? It is important to communicate, to attract traffic. Yeah, that goes without saying. Francesco, merchants, let's speak about Italy. Well, did you start working with single brand companies or multi-brand companies? So what are the companies, which are the companies that started working within this project? We had a lot of enthusiasm in terms of demand and supply. We started with big brands, H&M and Sephora, just to give you a few examples. And we are also getting bigger and bigger in the fashion universe. For example, we have a holistic approach: retail, large-scale retail, consumption, electronics, travel industry, etc., etc. So this is a very big scenario. We can work with different companies on different aspects. But you also have specific positioning strategies, luxury products, high-end products, and affordable products such as H&M articles and items. Well, is this an added value, a plus, or is there a need for a better profiling of consumers? People going to H&M, they don't buy expensive products. Do you also carry out kind of a vertical cross-selling? This is a plus, since you set up a community. Then it goes without saying that the brand also has to attract that part of the community that is more relevant to them. But in Italy, people use this payment method for items, so 20 euros up to 2,000 euros for Samsung. Federica, my feeling is that you are competitors, but at the same time, I feel that you foster and boost this kind of acceleration model for the development of consumption. Yes, that's absolutely right to a certain extent. We are competitors since we offer similar solutions, and we also have, each of us also has some distinguishing features. The main distinguishing feature of ClearPay consists of investing resources in bringing about new traffic. We work very hard on that. I always say that by chance we have a payment method, but our DNA is being a marketing engine for our partners. And we develop this through a steady and continuous partnership with our partners. That is to say, we don't do a launch campaign just to give more visibility during launch. We work all over the collaboration when we work together with the brand, also to increase the visibility of the brand in our shopping directory with reference to our assets. Our ultimate goal is making the most of this international visibility. For ClearPay, working with Shein, JD Sport, but also Pandora, so international brands. We have more than 86,000 retailers worldwide that use the ClearPay option. I just gave you a few examples to let you understand how wide these tickets are. So in this way, in Italy, we can grow very fast and we can have a very wide, broad customer base, which is kind of heritage for our retailers, for our merchants at the local level. So we are pretty much interested in having a very big international retailers in order to enhance the value of our distinguishing products. Last question for you, Francesco. What are your goals for Italy? And about the split payment market, well, what do you think are we moving ahead? I mean, we were having an exchange of ideas together with Federica. We talked about that since it's something new in Italy. We don't know if we will shift towards the Australian model, 5, 6 options for the checkout, or maybe the strengthening of this model. Our ambition is to become a well-known brand in Italy. So just creating a long-term preference, if you want, and in order to help our consumers grow much faster than now. Maybe 20% of online purchase connected with the split payment. I just gave you an example. I mean, I think there will be some room for more dissemination, so it will become more widespread in the future. Yeah, our ambition is going beyond the 20%, where e-commerce is more developed, where there is a higher penetration rate compared to Italy. And there is also a knowledge of this option, buy now, pay later, more widespread also among users. So there are some peaks, 20, 25, 30, 35% in some cases. Above all, for brands with a low or average ticket. So there's a counter tendency or counter trend if we consider our market. Yes, it facilitates our democratic market. Yes, absolutely. It rewards accessibility, affordability. We talked about affordable products. So there is no doubt that this is an affordable, accessible solution for our young generations, but also it helps them control their shopping experience. Thank you. Thank you very much for this contribution, for this overview. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, David.